Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Daniel 11 to 12, Hosea 1 to 3, Psalm 45, and Proverbs 15. Let's get started. He is your leader. I stepped forward to help him and keep him safe. It was the first year that Darius the Mede was king. Now then, what I'm about to tell you is true. 3 more kings will come to power in Persia. Then a 4th one will rule. He will be much richer than all the others. He will use his wealth to gain power, and he will stir everyone against the kingdom of Greece. After him, a mighty king will come to power. He will rule with great power and do as he pleases. Not long after his kingdom will be broken up. It will be divided up into 4 parts. His children will not receive it when he dies, and it will not be as strong as his kingdom. It will be pulled up by the roots, and it will be given to others. The king of Egypt will become strong, but one of his commanders will become even stronger. He will rule over his own kingdom with great power. After many years, the 2 kingdoms will join forces. The daughter of the next king of Egypt will go to the king of Syria. She will join forces with him, but she will not hold on to her power, and he and his power will not last either. In those days, she and her attendants will die. They'll die when the people she trusts lie to her. The same thing will happen to her father and the one who's helped her. Someone from her family line will take her place. He will attack the army of the next king of Syria. Then he will enter his fort. He will fight against that army and win. He will take the male statues of their gods. He will also take away their priceless objects of silver and gold. He will carry everything off to Egypt. For many years he will leave the king of Syria alone. Then the king of Syria will march into territory that was controlled by Egypt. After that, he will return to his own country. His sons will prepare for war. They will gather a huge army. They will sweep along like a mighty flood. The army will fight its way as far as one of the Egyptian forts. Another king of Egypt will march out with mighty force. He will be very angry. By then, another person will have become king in Syria. The king of Egypt will come to fight against him. The king of Syria will gather a huge army, but that army will lose the battle. His soldiers will be carried off. Then the king of Egypt will be filled with pride. He will kill many thousands of soldiers, but his success will not last. The king of Syria will bring another army together. It will be larger than the first one. After several years, he will march out with a huge army. It will have everything it needs for battle. In those times, many people will rise up against the next king of Egypt. Lawless people in your own nation will refuse to obey. That is what you saw in your vision, but they will not succeed. Then the king of Syria will go to a center city that has high walls around it. He will build ramps against them, and he will capture that city. The forces of Egypt will not have the power to stop him. Even their best troops will not be strong enough to stand up against him. He will do anything he wants to. No one will be able to stand up against him. He will do anything he wants to. No one will be able to stand up against him. He will take over the beautiful land of Israel, and he will have the power to destroy it. And the king of Syria will decide to come with the might of his entire kingdom. He will join forces with the king of Egypt, and the king of Syria will give his daughter to him to become his wife. The king of Syria will do this in order to take control of Egypt, but his plans will not succeed or help him. Then he will turn his attention to the lands along the Mediterranean coast. He will take over many of them, but a commander will put an end to his proud actions. He will turn his pride back on him. After this, the king of Syria will return to the forts in his own country, but he will trip and fall, and he will never be seen again. The next king after him will send someone out to collect taxes. The taxes will help maintain the glory of his kingdom, but in a few years the king will be destroyed. It will not happen because someone becomes angry with him or kills him in battle. After him, another king will take his place. Many people will hate him. He will not be honored as a king should be. He will lead an army into the kingdom when his people feel secure. He will make clever plans to capture it. Then he will sweep away a huge army. The army and a prince of the covenant will be destroyed. The king of Syria will make an agreement with that prince. But then the king of Syria will not keep his word. He will rise to an even greater power with the help of only a few people. When the people in the richest areas feel secure, he will attack them. He will do what the kings before him could not do, and he will reward his followers with the goods and wealth he takes. He will make clever plans to take over the forts, but that will last for only a short time. He will become strong and more confident. He will do that by gathering a large army. Then he will go to war against the next king of Egypt. That king will fight against him with a huge and very powerful army. But the king of Egypt will not be able to stand up against him. So the plans of the king of Syria will succeed. The trusted advisors of the king of Egypt will try to destroy him. His army will be swept away. Many of his soldiers will be wounded or killed. The kings of Syria and Egypt will sit at the same table, but in their hearts they will plan to do what's evil, and they will tell lies to each other, but it will not do them any good. God has put an end to their plans at his appointed time. The king of Syria will return to his own country. He will go back there with great wealth, but he will make evil plans against the holy temple in Jerusalem. He will do a lot of harm to the temple and the people who worship there. Then he will return to his own country. At God's appointed time, the king of Syria will march again, but this time things will turn out differently. Roman ships will oppose him. He will lose hope. Then he will turn back. He will take out his anger against the holy temple, and he will do good to the Jews who deserted. His army will come and make the temple area unclean. They will put a stop to the daily sacrifices. Then they will set up a hated thing that destroys. That he will pretend to praise those who have broken the covenant. He will lead them to do what is evil, but the people who know their God will firmly oppose him. Those who are wise will teach many others, but for a while, some of the wise will be killed by swords. Others will be made prisoners. Or they will be robbed of everything they have. When that happens, they will receive a little help. Many who are not honest will join them. So some of the wise people will suffer. They will be made pure in the fire. They will be made spotless until the time of the end. It will still come at God's appointed time. A certain king will do as he pleases. He will honor himself. He will put himself above every god. He will say things against the greatest God of all. Those things have never been heard before. He will have success until God is not angry anymore. What God has decided to do must take place. The king will not show any respect for the gods his people have always worshipped. There is a God's desire by woman. He will not respect that God either. He will not have respect for any God. Instead, he will put himself above all of them. In place of them, he will worship a God of war. He will honor a God his people have not known before. He will give gold and silver to that God. He will bring jewels and expensive gifts to it. He will attack the strongest forts. A new God will help him do it. He will greatly honor those who recognize him as their leader. He will make them rulers over many people, and he will give them land as a reward. A king in the south will go to war against him. It will happen at the time of the end. The king who will honor himself will rush out against him. He will come with chariots and horsemen. He will attack with a lot of ships. He will lead his army into many countries. He will sweep through them like a flood. He will also march into the beautiful land of Israel. Many countries will fall, but Edom, Moab, and the leaders of Ammon will be saved from his mighty hand. His power will reach out into many countries. Even Egypt will not escape. He will gain control of all Egypt's riches. He will take their gold and silver treasures. The people of Libya and Cush will be under his control. But reports from the east and the north will terrify him. He will march out with great anger to destroy many people and wipe them out. He will set up his royal tents. He will put them between the Mediterranean Sea and the beautiful holy mountain of Zion. But his end will come, and no one will help him. At that time Michael will appear. He is the great prince of the angels. He guards your people. There will be a time of terrible suffering. Things will be worse than that at any time since nations began. But at the time of suffering, your people will be saved. Their names are written in the book of life. Many people who lie dead in their graves will wake up. Some will rise up to life that will never end. Others will rise up to shame that will never end. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the sky. Those who lead many others to do what is right will be like the stars forever and ever. But I want you to roll up this scroll, Daniel. Seal it until the time of the end. Many people go here and there to increase their knowledge. Then I looked up and saw two other angels. One was on this side of the Tigris River, and one was on the other side. The man who was dressed in linen was above the waters of the river. One of the angels spoke to me. He asked, "How long will it be before these amazing things come true?" The man raised both hands toward heaven. I heard him make a promise in the name of the God who lives forever. He answered, 3.5 years. Then the power of the holy people will finally be broken, and all these things will come true. I heard what he said, but I didn't understand it. So I asked, "My master, what will come of all this?" He answered, "Go on your way, Daniel. The scroll is rolled up. It is sealed until the time of the end. Many people may be made pure in the fire. They will be made spotless, but sinful people will continue to be evil. Not one single person will understand, but those who are wise the daily sacrifices will be stopped, and the hated thing that destroys will be set up. After that there will be 1,290 days. Blessed are those who wait for 1,335 days and reach the end of them. Daniel, go on your way until the end. Your body will rest in the grave. Then at the end of the day you will rise from the dead, and you will receive what God has appointed for you." Hosea 1-3. A message from the Lord came to Hosea, son of Beeri. The message came while Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah were kings of Judah. It also came while Jeroboam was king of Israel. He was the son of Jehoash. Here's what the Lord said to him. The Lord began to speak through Hosea. He said, "Go, marry a woman who wants to have sex with anyone she wants. Have children with her. Do this because the people of that land are like that kind of way. They have not been faithful to me." So Hosea married Gomer. She was the daughter of Diblaim. Gomer became pregnant and had a son by Hosea. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Name him Jezreel. That's because I will soon punish Jehu's royal family. He killed many people at the city of Jezreel, so I will put an end to the kingdom of Israel. At that time I will break their military power. It will happen in the valley of Jezreel." Gomer became pregnant again. She had a daughter. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Name her Lo-Ruhamah. Lo-Ruhamah means not loved. That's because I will no longer show love to the people of Israel. I will not forgive them anymore, but I will show love to the people of Judah. I will save them. I will not use bows or swords or other weapons of war to do it. I will not save them by using horses and horsemen either. Instead, I will use my own power to save them. I am the Lord their God, and I will save them." Later, Gomer stopped nursing Lo-Ruhamah. After that, she had another son. Then the Lord said, "Name him Lo-Ammi." Lo-Ammi means not my people. That's because Israel is no longer my people. I am no longer their God. But the time will come when the people of Israel will be like the sand on the seashore. It can't be measured or counted. Now I just said about them, "You are not my people," but at that time they will be called children of the living God. The people of Judah and Israel will come together again. They will appoint one leader and come up out of the land. And Jezreel's day will be great. People of Israel, call your brothers, my people, and call your sisters, my loved ones. Tell your mother she is wrong. Tell her she is wrong. She isn't acting like a wife to me anymore. She no longer treats me as her husband. Tell her to stop looking and acting like a prostitute. Tell her not to let her lovers lie on her breast anymore. If she doesn't stop it, I'll strip her naked. I'll make her as bare as she was on the day she was born. I'll make her like a desert. She will become like dry land, and I'll let her die of thirst. I won't show my love to her children. They are the children of other men. Their mother hasn't been faithful to me. She who became pregnant with them has brought shame on herself. She said, I will chase after my lovers. They give me my food and water. They provide me with wool and linen. They give me olive oil and wine. So I will block her path with bushes that have thorns. I'll build a wall around her. Then she can't go to her lovers. She will still chase after her lovers, but she won't catch them. She will look for them, but she won't find them. Then she'll say, I'll go back to my husband. That's where I was at first. I was better off then than I am now. She wouldn't admit that I was the one who gave her everything she had. I provided her with grain, olive oil, and fresh wine. I gave her plenty of silver and gold, but she used it to make statues of Baal. So I'll take away my grain when it gets ripe. I'll take my fresh wine when it's ready. I will take back my wool and my linen. I gave them to her to cover her naked body. So now I'll uncover her body. All her lovers will see it. No one can stop me from punishing her. I'll put a stop to the special times she celebrates. I'll bring an end to the feast she celebrates each year. I'll stop her new moon feast and her Sabbath days. I'll bring all her appointed feasts to an end. I'll destroy her vines and her fig trees. She said they were her pay from her lovers. I'll make them like clumps of bushes and weeds. Wild animals will eat them up. Israel burned incense to the gods that were named Baal. I'll punish her for all the time she did that. She decorated herself with rings and jewelry. Then she went after her lovers, but she forgot all about me, declares the Lord. So now I am going to draw her back to me. I'll lead her into the desert. There I will speak tenderly to her. I'll give her back her vineyards. I'll make the valley of Achor a door of hope for her. Then she'll love me, as she did when she was young. She'll love me just as she did when she came up out of Egypt. A new day is coming, and ancestor. Israel will call me my husband. She will no longer call me my master. She will no longer speak about the gods that are named Baal. She will not pray to them for help anymore. At that time I will make a covenant for the good of my people. I will make it with the wild animals and the birds in the sky. It will also be made with the creatures that move along the ground. I will remove bows and swords and other weapons of war from the land. Then my people can lie down in safety. I will make Israel my own. She will belong to me forever. I will do to her what is right and fair. I will love her tenderly. I will be faithful to her, and she will recognize me as the Lord. So at that time I will answer her and ancestor. I will command the skies to send rain on the earth. Then the earth will produce grain, olive oil, and fresh wine, and Israel will be called Jezreel. That's because I will answer her prayers. I will plant her in the land for myself. I will show my love to the one I called, not my loved one. You said, I will say, you are my people, to those who are called, not my people. And they will say, you are my God. The Lord said to me, go, show your love to your wife again. She is loved by another man, and she has committed adultery. But I want you to love her just as I love the people of Israel. They turned to other gods, and they loved to offer raisin cakes to Baal and eat them. In spite of that, I love my people. So I bought Gomer for 6 ounces of silver and 430 pounds of barley. Then I told her, you must wait for me for a long time. You must not be a prostitute. You must not have sex with any man, and I will be faithful to you too. So the people of Israel will live for a long time without a king or prince. They won't have sacrifices or sacred stones. They won't have sacred linen aprons or statues of family gods. After that, the people of Israel will return to the Lord their God. They will look to him and to a king from the family line of David. In their last days, they will tremble with fear as they come to the Lord, and they will receive his full blessing. Proverbs 15. A gentle answer turns anger away, but mean words stir up anger. The tongues of wise people use no trouble, but the mouths of foolish people pour out foolish words. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. They watch those who are evil and those who are good. A tongue that calms is like a tree of life, but a tongue that tells lies produces a broken spirit. A foolish person turns their back on their parents' correction, but anyone who accepts correction shows understanding. The houses of those who do what is right hold great wealth, but those who do what is wrong earn only ruin. The lips of wise people spread knowledge, but the hearts of foolish people are not honest. The Lord hates the sacrifice of simple people, but the praise of honest people please him. The Lord hates how sinners live, but he loves those who run after what is right. Hard training is in store for anyone who leaves the right path. The person who hates to be corrected will die. Death and the grave lie open in front of the Lord, so human hearts certainly lie open to him. People who make fun of others don't like to be corrected, so they stay away from wise people. A happy heart makes a face look cheerful, but a sad heart produces a broken spirit. A heart that understands what is right looks for knowledge, but the mass of foolish people feed on what is foolish. All the days of those who are crushed are filled with pain and suffering, but a cheerful heart enjoys a good time that never ends. It is better to have respect for the Lord and have little than to be rich and have trouble. A few vegetables where there is love are better than the finest meat where there is hatred. A person with a bad temper stirs up conflict, but a person who is patient calms things down. The way of people who don't want to work is blocked with thorns, but the path of honest people is a wide road. A wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish son hates his mother. A person who has no sense enjoys doing foolish things, but a person who has understanding walks straight ahead. Plans fail without good advice, but they succeed when there are many advisers. Joy is found in giving the right answer, and how good is a word spoken at the right time. The path of life leads up for those who are wise. It keeps them from going down to the place of the dead. The Lord tears down the proud person's house, but he keeps the widow's property safe. The Lord hates the thoughts of sinful people, but he considers kind words to be pure. Those who always want more bring a ruin to their households, but a person who refuses to be paid to lie will live. The hearts of those who do right think about how they will answer, but the mouths of those who do wrong pour out evil. The Lord is far away from those who do wrong, but he hears the prayers of those who do right. The cheerful look of a messenger brings joy to your heart, and good news brings health to your body. Whoever listens to a warning that gives life will be at home among those who are wise. Those who turn away from correction hate themselves. Anyone who says correction has gained understanding. Wisdom teaches you to have respect for the Lord, so don't be proud if you want to be honored. Psalm 45. My heart is filled with beautiful words as I say my palm to for the king. My tongue is like the pen of a skillful writer. You are the most excellent of men. Your lips have been given the ability to speak gracious words. God has blessed you forever. Mighty one, put your sword at your side. Put on glory and majesty as if they were your clothes. In your majesty, ride out with power to fight for what is true, humble and fair. Let your right hand do wonderful things. Shoot your sharp arrows into the hearts of your enemies. Let the nations come under your control. Your throne is the very throne of God. Your kingdom will last forever and ever. You will rule by treating everyone fairly. You love what is right and hate what is evil. So your God has placed you above your companions. He has filled you with joy by pouring the sacred oil on your head. Myrrh and aloes and cassia make all your robes smell good. In palaces decorated with ivory, the music played on string instruments make you glad. Daughters of kings are among the women you honor. At your right hand is the royal bride dressed in gold from a field. Royal bride, listen and pay careful attention. Forget about your people and the home you came from. Let the king be charmed by your beauty. Honor him. He is now your master. The people of Tyre will come with gifts. Wealthy people try to gain your favor. In a room, the princess glories. Her gown has gold threads running through it. Dressed in beautiful clothes, she is led to the king. Her virgin companions follow. They have been brought to be with her. They are led in with joy and gladness. They enter the palace of the king. Your sons will rule just as your father and grandfather did. You will make them princes through the whole land. I will make sure that people will always remember you. The nations will praise you forever and ever. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.